Nicole here and welcome back again for another video. So for today's video, I am going to share to you guys the top 5 valid IDs or government ID that you could get here in the Philippines. So this is like the easiest version. Bigla ko lang naisipan gumawa ng video na to kahit hindi ito yung usual content ko because someone requested it sa previous vlog ko. Shout out na rin sa'yo sis. So if hindi nyo pa napapanood, my previous vlog is all about like adulting vlog, kung paano ko ba process yung mga IDs and clearances na ipapakita ko sa inyo ngayon. And I also find it helpful lalo na if kayo fresh graduate kayo or you're just a teenager and kailangan nyo ng mga valid ID. So, this video would be perfect and I hope will be helpful for you kasi ito rin yung video na hahanapin ko when I just turned 18 and applying for a job. So, since yung video natin is usually all about work or online jobs, paano kumita, and usually if you're applying for a job, they will require you a valid ID. Paano nga ba kumuha ng mga IDs? Because IDs are so important, guys. Lalo na if you're going to open a bank account, apply for a job, getting money on remittances, and even pagkuha ng ayuda, is kailangan ng mga valid ID, lalo na yung government-issued ID, aside sa mga school ID or company ID nyo. So, ayan, there's also a sense of identity na isa kayong Filipino. Kaya, i-share ko sa inyo guys kung paano ako nagsimula mag-acquire ng mga IDs na to. So, ito po yung mga valid IDs ko. Ayan, na pwede nyo makuha as a teen or as a student. And, after you graduated, ito talaga yung mga ipaprocess mo. So, might as well na maging prepared ka. Process mo na ngayon pa lang para hindi kayo ma-hassle in the future. So, the funny thing here in the Philippines na if you're going to apply for a valid ID, kailangan mo pa ng isa pang valid ID para makuha mo yung ID na yon. Like ganon. Tapos ang dami pang requirements. So sis, di mo na alam kung saan ka magsisimula. So ayan, I'm here to share you guys kung ano yung mga IDs na na-acquire ko and kung paano sila makuha. Okay, so just a quick disclaimer guys. Lahat ng mga IDs na babanggitin ko in this video is meron na ako. So this is about my experience kung paano ko sila makuha because magbabago yung mga requirements. Pwedeng magbago, pwedeng magstay, depending on the time you are watching this. So, for this 2021, lalo na ngayong may pandemic, is ganito yung process ko ng mga ID. So, I will going to break down this video into 4 or 5 parts depending sa ID. So, first, pag-uusapan ko kung saan mo sila pwede makuha, location or online website. Next is ano yung mga requirements na kailangan mo, pasok ka ba sa requirement. Next is yung waiting process kasi hihintayin mo rin yung pag-process ng mga ID na to. Merong instant na real time mo pwede makuha yung ID. Meron naman mag-wait ka ng matagal. Next is yung fee, kung may bayad ba yung pagkuha ng requirements na to. And lastly is yung validity date, kung gaano ba katagal tong ID na to hanggang sa ma-expire siya. So ayan guys, without further ado, let's go on to the video. Okay, so the first ID on my list is this postal ID. So, itong postal ID na to is na-acquire ko when I was 18 years old. And it was 2019 nung nakuha ko to. And feeling ko hindi naman nagbago yung mga requirements nila because ito yung isa sa pinakamadaling ID na pwede mo makuha. Sobrang simple lang ng requirements niya. So, the requirements are number 1, proof of identity. Sa proof of identity, pwede ka magbigay ng birth certificate mo. Proof of residency. Pwede mong ibigay yung Meralco bills, barangay like bank statement, or pwede rin yung school ID mo na sa likod is merong address mo. Basta kahit anong legal document na magpapakita ng address mo. So, ayun lang yung requirements niya. Kailangan mo lang mag-fill ng application form. Ayun lang talaga yung pinasa ko before. Yung location niya pala is sa kahit saang post office na meron. For example, sa amin, malapit sa City Hall or sa Barangay Hall, yung post office. So, punta lang kayo doon and meron doong mga ID capture. So, doon kayo magpapa-picture and papa-biometric. The waiting time para makuha mo tong ID na to is around 30 days to 2 months. So, ganun siya katagal. Ayun lang yung downside neto. Like, I expected na makukuha ko rin to agad. Tagalan talaga yung pagkuha neto. But, the good thing here is, makukuha mo na on your doorstep yung ID na to. By the way, yung fee pala neto, 504 pesos yung binayaran ko. Lahat na yon sa delivery fee, sa pag-capture sa akin, hanggang sa makuha ko mismo yung ID na to. And the validity span of this ID is 3 years only. 500 pesos mo na 3 years ID. Sobrang naging helpful siya sa akin. Pero ayun nga, namahalan ako. And ang tagal din ng pag-wait niya bago makuha mo tong ID na to. But sobrang naging useful din neto sa akin kasi nga ito yung first valid ID ko. I used this sa pag-open ng bank account ko. Pagkuha ng money sa Western Union para makuha yung YouTube sweldo ko. Basta marami akong pinagamitan tong ID na to. If gusto mo magsimula, is pwede mong kunin tong postal ID. Okay, so the second ID on my list is this barangay ID. So, na-consider ko siya na valid ID because tinanggap siya when I'm opening a bank account. Kasi when I opened my bank account, kailangan mo at least 2 valid ID. So, for you to have your own barangay ID is simple lang. Pupuntahan mo lang yung barangay hall nyo kung saan ka nakatira and just say na magre-request kayo ng barangay ID. So, the good thing about this ID is sobrang minimal lang ng requirements. Actually, nung nag-apply ako is kinuha lang yung barangay clearance ko. By the way, yung barangay clearance sa barangay din. And kailangan mo rin ibigay, it's either school ID or company ID, okay lang yon. As long as you can prove na doon kayo nakatira sa barangay na yon. And another requirement pala para makuha mo to ID mo is you must be a resident on that barangay for at least 6 months for you to acquire this ID. So, ayun lang, super simple lang siya. And guys, yung pagkuha pa rin ng barangay ID, yung requirements niya is depende sa barangay nyo. And the good thing here is libre lang siya. Hindi ko alam kung sa ibang barangay may bayad ba. Iba-iba yung pag-process neto per barangay. Nakuha ko siya parang naka-paper form, ganyan. Tapos, ako na nag-laminate nung ID na to. So, ayun, I consider this a good valid ID because again, it's free and pwede mo makuha real time. Like, kung kailan ka nag-request, pwede mo makuha later on lang. So, ayan, super sulit na to sa akin. If you are having trouble have your ID like instantly, you can go for barangay ID. And again, iba-iba yung requirements nito. So, hindi ako masyadong makakapag-drop ng buong requirements kung paano mo makuha to kasi it depends on your barangay. So, the third ID na i-show ko sa inyo, medyo iba yung process niya. If sa postal ID and sa barangay ID is pupunta ka lang sa respective barangay nyo para mag-ask kung paano makakuha. Kumbaga, pwedeng walk-in dito. But for the next ID is this one. This is the Philippine Passport. And this one is considered as valid ID because it was issued by our government. Nakuha ko lang to recently, like last week ko lang siya nakuha. Ito yung pag-process ko para makapag-apply ng passport. Pupunta ka lang sa online website nila. Flash ko na lang dito sa screen or ilalagay ko sa description box yung website kung saan ka pwede mag-apply. And then, book an appointment. It's purely online. Hindi pwedeng mag-walk-in ka lang, napupunta ka lang sa DFA. It is scheduled online. So, for getting a Philippine passport, the requirements are the following. So, una is a confirmed scheduled appointment. Mag-book ka na hanggat maaga pa because minsan matagal siya. Yung pinaka-maagang appointment is maybe after 2 months, after 3 months pa. So, ganun kadami yung kumukuha ng mga passport. When you scheduled or booked that specific time, kailangan magbayad ka na agad. Pwede ka magbayad sa bayad center or gamit ng bank transfer, GCash, ganyan. Before ka pumunta doon, kailangan confirmed na siya. Malalaman mong confirm siya through email. And next requirement, you need a PSA birth certificate. Kailangan mo dalhin yung original copy and yung photocopy. Next na kailangan mo is ID, a valid ID. But if minor ka pa or mas bata ka pa, I know that you could use your school ID, guys. So, sa akin, ang ginamit ko yata is postal ID. So, ayun lang yung requirements niya. And you need to print the form na fill out mo online. So, ayan, before ka pumunta sa DFA, kailangan kompleto na requirements mo. And the fee in processing of passport is 950 pesos. Kahit na mahal siya, sobrang sulit neto kunin. Validity span of this ID is for 10 years. Yes, if you know you have plans to travel, to go abroad, to migrate, ganyan. Sobrang useful neto. Hindi na lugi yung 1,000 pesos. Pwede mo rin siya gamitin if you're going to open bank account sa remittance center, or basically, pwede mo rin siya magamit sa job application mo if they require you a valid ID. Kailangan mo lang talaga maghintay ng medyo matagal-tagal. Nag-schedule ako ng appointment last March pa, and nakuha ko siya this June lang. So, ayan, medyo matagal, but it's worth it naman, lalo na if you have plans to travel abroad or to migrate. Okay, so next on my list, actually hindi to ID, but this could be considered like a government clearance. So this is my NBI clearance. And for me, makukonsider mo siya na government-issued ID kasi gagamit mo to. Lalo na if you're applying for a job. So for me, for first-time job seeker yung kinuha ko. And it's free, guys. Lalo na if first-time mong kukuha ng NBI clearance. So go for this one. By the way pala, if you planning to have an NBI clearance, the process is also online. So you need to book a scheduled appointment first sa specific location mo kung saan ka bala kumuha. Star Mall, pwedeng sa Robinson. Pili na lang kayo ng schedule and always visit their website sa NBI Clearance. So, ililink ko na lang dito sa screen or sa baba yung website kung saan mo pwede sila i-visit and makita ko ano yung mga available schedule nila. Again, always check it online. Grinab ko na yung opportunity na yung first time job seeker kasi libre lang siya. And meron ka na agad na document na pwede mong i-present when you are applying a job, lalo na alam ko, kailangan to. If you're going to open a bank account, then pwede mo rin to magamit. So, this is still useful. Unfortunately, pan niya lang is for only 1 year. After ng 1 year na yun, if kailangan mo pa ng NBI clearance, you have to renew it. And then, may bayad na alam ko yung renewal neto. But, if first-time job seeker kayo, like, libre lang siya. And ito yung requirements niya if you're a first-time job seeker. So, number 1 dyan, again, kailangan mo lagi ng PSA birth certificate mo. Next naman, you can use your school ID. So, ginamit ko dito school ID. Or you can use company ID if nag-work na kayo. Basta kahit anong ID. The third requirement dito, if you wanted to have like, first-time job seeker, NBI clearance is pumunta ka muna sa barangay. You need to have like a certificate that you are a first-time job seeker. So, medyo dito ako naguluhan nung una kasi hindi ko nakita yung requirements online. So, that's why I'm sharing it to you. Lalo na if first-time kayong kuha ng NBI clearance. So, para hindi na masayang yung time nyo, pumunta na kayo sa barangay to get certificate of first-time job seeker. Ang waiting time naman neto is 2 to 3 weeks ko tong hinintay. For the last ID that I'm going to share, alam kong sobrang dali lang makuha, is the Philippine National ID. Alam ko wala pa siya ngayon, like wala pang merong physical ID ng national ID. But ngayon, is pinaprocess pa lang siya. But pwede na kayong pumunta sa respective locations to take your pictures, to have your biometric, and submit your requirements. So, very simple lang yung requirements neto. You just need an ID. Pwedeng birth certificate. Basta you have a proof of identity. So, it only has 3 steps. Ayan. So, you can also visit their website. Pwede na kayo mag-enter ng mga informations nyo. Pwede na rin kayo pumunta sa ID capturing location kung saan man kayo. Pwedeng sa mga mall. Basically, guys, that will be the end of this video. Ayan. Just comment down below na lang, guys, if you have any question or if may gusto pa kayong nagawan ko ng in-depth video. So, comment down below. I hope naging helpful tong video na to sa inyo, lalo na sa mga requirements na binanggit ko. So, ayun lang naman, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, subscribe on my channel na din. So, I make earning videos, beauty videos, and contents like this about adulting. So, ayun lang, guys. Thank you so much for today. See you next time. Goodbye!
Missing someone